operating lawfully, as was another car next to them. Mr. Brown decided to head into westbound in the eastbound lanes, where he struck those two cars head-on. Miss Crowell's car was pushed up into the median strip where there are trees, Your Honor, and she struck a tree as well. Luckily, it was outside of University Hospital where there were medical personnel that were able to rush out to the scene, and they were able to get Lotus and take her into the hospital right away. Your Honor, Lotus, the injuries that she suffered that day from the actions of Mr. Brown, she will never recover from. She will never be the happy child that she was. It was right before her first birthday, Your Honor. She didn't even get to celebrate her first birthday with her mom and her older brother. Miss Crowell has never heard her daughter say "mommy," and she'll never be able to hear her say "mommy." Miss Crowell and her family members are here. They would like to address the court, Your Honor. But we will be asking for a sentence here that the defendant serve the maximum for all the charges that he is facing. The aggravated vehicular assaults, the failure to comply. But I would like you to hear from the family.
All right, very good. Please step up.
Your Honor, this is Miss Tamika Jones. This is Lexus's mom and Lotus's grandmother.
Very good. Okay, would you please state your name for the record?
Hi, my name is Tamika Jones. It's spelled T-I-M-I-K-I Jones, J-O-N-E-S. I'm the grandmother of Lotus Jones. Before this accident, my granddaughter was a normal, about to be 1-year-old. She was learning how to pull up. She was crawling. She was learning how to walk. She was learning how to talk. After the accident, she could do none of that. She can't move any part of her body except her head. She can't eat. She can't breathe unless she's hooked up to a ventilator. She's on oxygen. She can't move. Her whole life has been changed. She was in her car seat securely strapped. She was double strapped. Her car seat was strapped into the car and she was strapped into her car seat. My daughter was at a red light. She wasn't drinking. She wasn't even driving. She was sitting at a red light. My daughter was badly damaged also. She got part of her intestines taken out. She'll never be the same for the rest of her life. My granddaughter has turned 1 inside the hospital. She's still in rehab. She has never come home from this accident. We're trying to get her home now. She goes back and forth to ICU. It's like she's never really stable. And I don't wish bad on anybody, but I think that man should get the worst that you could give him, because my granddaughter will never grow up to be what she's supposed to be. That's all I want to say.
All right. Thank you for coming, and I'm so sorry for you having to deal with this.
Thank you.
You can take your seat,
Reverend Taylor Crowell.
Taylor Crowell, Taylor, last name Crowell. First thing I want to say is before my niece even turned 1, she already died. That's crazy already. Before she even turned 1, she had screws in her head. It's no reason why he should have been drunk driving, getting chased, any of that. There's no reason why, well, I'm not going to say there's no reason why the police shouldn't be chasing him, but that right there is a little messed up to me too, because if they weren't chasing him, he wouldn't crash, but he wouldn't have been drunk. he wouldn't crash either. All of it is messed up. I don't like it. My mother already dealt with a lot, so now she got this on top of her plate to deal with. My niece, like she said, never been home. Her first birthday, she was already crippled. My sister, she's messed up. Her first daughter, she's young as it is. It's a lot to deal with, and our family is going through a lot. So I just wish everybody pray for our family and pray for my niece and pray that she gets out and hopefully God can heal her and she be able to walk again. That's all I really gotta say. You know, seeing my mom cry really got me to straw. I had a lot to say, but seeing her cry, it shakes me up. So it just threw me off a little bit. But I just hope everybody pray for my niece and hope she'll get better.
All right, thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, Lexis Crowell. Your Honor, I wanted to point out that Lexis was also in the hospital for over a month. She had to have a surgery. She had internal bleeding. She had to have a wound vac on her for 2 months. She also was in a rehab facility where she was separated from her daughter for over a week, where she wasn't able to see her daughter. Your Honor, the family put together this poster that they would like to share with you. And you'll see here, these are pictures of Lotus before the accident. The one down here, the bottom was from Valentine's Day, week before this accident. The pictures on the left, Your Honor.
This is the baby that's still in the hospital.
Yes, Your Honor. These are the pictures of Lotus now.
Could you, I can't see it.
And her injuries are all listed in there as well.
Can,
Yes, Your Honor, the defendant's blood was drawn about an hour after this accident. He was 5 times the legal limit, .407, Your Honor. Just wanted to point that out to the court. Ms. Crowell would like to now address you.
all right, Ms. Crowell, you wish to be heard.
My name is Lexis, Lexis, last name Crowell, Crowell. I just want to say, no matter the amount of time he get, we'll never bring my baby back. He hit us so hard. She died in the car. She died 3 times on the table. So to the point, so much CPR gave her lung damage that she'll never breathe on her own. She'll never talk, walk. She has a pacemaker to keep her diaphragm moving in order for her to even be able to breathe. The look in her eyes when I see her, the smile, every picture she's smiling in. She barely smiles now. She's always looks so empty. And I just feel like this didn't have to happen. 1 car should have been enough. There should have been a chase. It shouldn't even got this far. I just ask that you give him the most time, because he deserves it. He turned my world upside down. My son understands, but barely understands. He asks me every day when she's coming home, and we really don't know. She required 24-hour care. I mean, it takes a village to raise a kid, but that's my child. I brought her into this world. He's not God. He had no right to take any of her, anything away. And I just feel like our world has just changed forever. And no matter the amount of therapy we do, help we get, she still will never, ever walk or talk or eat. She couldn't even eat cake on her first birthday. She had to wear a halo for 2 months. She's been after cast after cast, after neck brace after neck brace, to the point where she's just learning how to maybe hold her head a little bit. Barely does that. She sleeps all day because she had traumatic brain injury, bleeding on the brain. I feel like she pretty much is dead. You took everything she has. Without me, there is no her. Without her, there is no me. I had to take classes to learn how to provide for my child. That was perfectly normal at birth. Nothing was wrong with her. To now, she requires nurses. She requires a full house just for her to come home, a ramp, wheelchair, just stuff I wasn't prepared for, stuff I never thought in a million years we would be doing. And I dreaded this day. I had so much I wanted to say, so much anger inside that I want him to feel, but I won't let him take that joy away. Because my kids still need their happiness and they still need a happy mom. I just ask that you don't give him any sympathy because he doesn't deserve it.
Thank you for coming, and I'm sorry your beautiful baby is so ill.
Thank you.
All right, you can keep your seat.
Your Honor, as you can see, this just didn't affect Ms. Crowell and Lotus and Ms. Revere and her son Eamon. This has affected a lot of people in this community and a lot of these family members. And we would ask for a maximum sentence. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Roberts.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Your Honor, we stand before the court. We stand before the family.
Leave that open. I want him to see that. Has he seen that picture?
No.
We stand before the family.
Okay, I want you to just take a moment before you make your, I want you to take that board and I want him to look at it. Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. As I was stating, we stand before the court and the family and extend our most sincere condolences. And as the young man said, we will be praying for all of you. This was such out of character for my client. My client is 62 years old. He has no prior criminal record except for maybe a misdemeanor or something with checks. Nothing violent, no alcohol. Unfortunately, whatever was going on in his life was the worst thing that he ever could have done was get behind the wheel after that. He has been sincerely concerned about all members involved. Every pretrial, he asked me, how are they doing? Is there anything I can do? He's asked me about writing letters and cards, and because of the sensitive nature of this case, I've explained to him that he cannot have any contact with any of the victims in this case. I will say this, if the court will allow me to approach, he has been attending, may I, Your Honor? He's been attending AA meetings since he's been out. He has some sheets. He got, some of them got misplaced, but he is sincerely remorseful. This is not a gentleman who's committed crimes all of his life, who's disregarded society, the rules of society. This is just one horrific decision on his part to get behind the wheel after consuming alcohol. I know we can't change what happened, but I also know that many people make horrible mistakes. That doesn't make them horrible people. And so I'm going to ask the court to consider that in sentencing. Thank you.
Anything you want to say, Mr. Brown?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, I want to apologize to you and to this family. so sorry for what happened. I pray for you every day. I don't even know you. I wish I never had a drink in my life. And I ask you to forgive me. I pray for you every day. My church pray for you. My friends pray for you and this child. I never seen her. I hate that this ever happened. And I'm asking you, just forgive me. And I'm still going to pray with you that the God that we serve will do a tremendous change in her life and bring her back to you the way she is supposed to be. And he can do all things but fail. All we got to do is believe. Forgive me again. I really apologize. In your honor, I thank you for listening to me. And
All right, taking into consideration the remarks of counsel, the remarks of family, the pre-sentence report, and especially what horrendous outcomes this case had. As to counts 1 and 2, felonies of the 3rd degree high tier, 60 months mandatory time as to each of those counts. Count 3, misdemeanor of the 1st degree, 180 days county jail. Count 7, felony of the 3rd degree low tier, 36 months. I'll go on how that is to be served. Count 16, misdemeanor of the 1st degree, 90 days, and count 17, misdemeanor of the 1st degree, 180 days. Counts 1, 2, 3, 16, and 17 will be served concurrently, but consecutively to count 7. That's the 36 months by operation of law. That's failure to comply. Counts 1 and 2 are both mandatory time, which means no reduction of sentence and no judicial release. As to counts 1, 2, and 7, the felonies, when you're done serving the time, you'll be subject to discretionary post-release control for up to 2 years. Post-release control is a parole period after incarceration. If you violate the terms of post-release control, you may look at additional time of up to half of the original sentence and/or a charge of felony escape if you're violated by the parole authority or Department of Corrections. You will not, for the 60 months, you're not eligible for judicial release, and I will be gone after 3 years and a month. But if on another day you ask for judicial release and someone grants it, another judge grants it, if you violated the terms of judicial release, you'd go back to serve the rest of the prison term. But make no mistake, you are not eligible for that time for a long time. You'll pay the costs. Costs become a judgment against you. If you fail to pay them, you may be required to perform community work service. You can do so in the institution. I'll waive the fine as you will be serving a lengthy sentence. As to counts 1 and 2, you're subject to a Class 3 driver's license suspension, 10 years. As to count 7, Class 2, 15 years. And as to count 16, unclassified, 3 years, 6 points on each of those. Class 3 suspension will override all other suspensions. All right. You'll receive credit for time served. You did do some jail time from February 27th to May 16th when we released you on your bond. So whatever those total, you'll get credit for that. Is there anything else for the good of the order at this time?
No.
All right, defendants remanded, sheriff to transport. You can just take them back, Carmen. Just take them back and release them. All right.
Dan DeRose with 19 News. As you see, Darrell Brown there being taken into custody. This was a very emotional sentencing. Darrell Brown was pleaded guilty to a number of accounts, including aggravated vehicular assault. It was back on February 22nd that he led East Cleveland police on a chase. This is one of the most astounding blood alcohol levels I've ever heard in my entire career. He blew a .407. I'm not sure how he was even alive at that point. That is 5 times the legal limit. When they tried to pull him over, he led police on a chase. He slammed into 3 cars that were sitting in a stoplight. Of course, you heard from the mother there, Alexis Crowell. She was in the car with her 11-month-old baby, who is now paralyzed for life, will never speak because of this accident. And the judge really handed down one of the stronger sentences for a non-homicide, a non-vehicular homicide case. Granted, you can ask what kind of a life that little 1-year-old will have now. And the judge sending a clear message, giving him 60 months, that's 5 years in prison, but then he also has to serve 36 months in county jail, and those will be served consecutively. He has to serve the 60 months before he can serve the 3 years in county prison. So all total, he gets 8 years. Just an incredible sentencing here, incredibly emotional, and the facts that were involved in this case are mind-blowing. We will have a complete wrap-up of this. Our reporter Winnie Dorch was in the courtroom for this sentencing. She will have a wrap-up on this when we start our 3.5 hours of news at 3 o'clock. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Have a good afternoon.
19 News is everywhere. Download our CTV apps and follow us on social media at Cleveland 19 News.